No shot. No shot. The helicopter is literally right above me. I'm still live? Chat, if you can hear me, I love you. Somebody clip that. Keep watching. I'm turning the camera around.
I got this sent to me 4 times before I even knew a guy needed to be rescued. The group chat had already moved on to the next disaster by the time I opened it. But that turn the camera around? That's the thesis of the decade.
He's not saying help. He's saying clip that. And the worst part is I've been that guy. Not in a helicopter, but I've been at a concert thinking this would do numbers. We all have the disease. He just has it during an emergency.
You brought water on a hike. He brought 2 power banks and a lav mic. The rescue team are now unpaid extras in his content. They didn't sign a release.
The rescue team is just doing their job, and now there's a vertical video with their faces on it. And somewhere a supervisor is saying, please don't be on your phone.
The comments are like W content, and this is what real streaming looks like. Real streaming? The guy's lips are cracked and someone's asking what filter he's using.
I saw one, bro found the best angle for the rescue. That's the whole thing. Not the rescue, the angle.
Because if you're not producing content, do you even exist? The trending topic isn't hiker rescued. It's Sabino Canyon Rescue. The event became the search term. The rescue was content first and an emergency second.
I think there's a regulation angle here.
Here we go.
No, hear me out. National parks already have rules about commercial photography. If you're monetizing a rescue, that's commercial activity on federal land. You can't film a movie in a national park without a permit. Why is a Twitch stream with ads any different?
Because the ad is on the platform, not in the park. The park is just a set, and the rescue team doesn't have a SAG card. You want to fine a guy for filming while dehydrated? The fine is the least of his problems.
I'm not saying fine him. I'm saying maybe the Park Service could post signs. If you are being rescued, please discontinue live streaming. But that's a losing battle.
The sign would just become content. Somebody would pose in front of it. Look at this sign. They don't want you to know the truth.
Right. Then the sign gets more views than the actual safety information. Exactly.
We used to call this disaster porn. Now it's just content. The word disaster is redundant. He said, "I'm still live," before he said, "thank you." Or did he ever say thank you?
Not in the clip I saw. He says, "This is insane." Then clip that. Then turn the camera around. No mention of the people who saved him. Like they were McDonald's employees handing him a bag.
The rescue team is the gig economy now. 5 stars, no tip.
Meanwhile, Bryson Stott is trending, a baseball player, right next to a helicopter rescue. The algorithm is a flat circle.
Bryson Stott once hit a single, and now he's the antidote to rescue content. I don't know which one is more depressing.
I wonder if the rescue team has a TikTok now. Some crew member posted a response video, and it's got 2 million views. That's the thing. The content ecosystem absorbs everything, even the criticism of itself.
The response video probably has a sponsor. When you're rescuing content creators, use Rescue Rope Pro.
That's the ad break. We should go to break.
Wait, are we not doing the bit where we pretend to be sponsored by some awful product?
We'll do it after the break. The clip heard round the group chat. We'll be right back. We're back. And I'm not doing the fake sponsor yet, because that clip you sent me, the guy with the Mises bookshelf and the whiteboard, I have a steel man I need to get out before I lose it.
The one where he says the dollar is a cult and the Fed is its high priest? I have it queued up in case you need the graph where he draws a giant red circle around seigniorage.
That's the one. And look, I know he's doing the whole I've read 3 books and now I'm an expert thing. But underneath the libertarian cosplay, I think there's a real point.
Okay, Steelman away. Just remember, a Steelman isn't swapping in a completely different argument and pretending it was his.
Fine. His central thesis, as I understand it, is that the Fed has become an unaccountable cartel that backstops financial risk and punishes labor. When new money enters the economy through asset markets, the people who already own assets get to spend it before prices rise. Meanwhile, wage earners get the inflation later, without the asset appreciation. That's the Cantillon effect. It's real.
That's not his thesis, Marty. That's your thesis with a gold bug font. His actual argument is that the dollar is fake, therefore the only moral currency is one that no one can create, which is a child's understanding of value. Value doesn't come from scarcity. It comes from social coordination. He sees the boom-bust cycle and thinks the Fed caused it. He ignores that the gold standard had worse panics and that private banks blew up the economy repeatedly before the Fed ever existed.
But he had that chart, the one where real wages track productivity until 1971, and then just flatline. You can't dismiss that with a joke about fonts.
I'm not dismissing the chart. I'm dismissing the monocausal explanation. In the same decade, you get offshoring, the decline of union density, shareholder primacy, and Reaganism. If you're going to blame the gold window, you need to explain why Germany and Japan, different central bank structures, different labor institutions, also had wage stagnation.
He'd say they all live in the same dollar-denominated global system, so it doesn't matter what their domestic central banks do.
So the variable that explains everything is fiat currency, regardless of institutions? That's not analysis. That's astrology. The dollar being fiat is a fact. Who gets to create credit and for what purpose is politics. He uses the first to skip the second entirely.
I think that's too uncharitable. He does get political. He says Congress delegated power to the Fed because it's easier than taxing rich people. That's a structural critique.
Sure. And then his solution is to replace the Fed with a hard money rule, or an algorithm, or gold, which is just handing the politics to whoever already has gold, or whoever wrote the algorithm. That's not less captured, it's more captured. He thinks the problem is that money is political. The problem is that money is anti-democratic.
Wait, say more on that.
The Fed is bad, not because it's an institution. It's bad because it's an institution accountable mostly to banks, not to the public. If you created public banks or gave Treasury authority to issue money directly for public goods, you'd have the same flexible currency without the bank-first priority. The gold guys want to solve moral hazard by making money scarce, as if bankers won't just rent-seek on whatever's scarce. Scarcity is their entire business model.
But now you're making the same mistake. You're assuming public control won't just be captured by the same interests. The Fed was created to be insulated from democratic politics precisely because politicians kept inflating to buy votes. That's the kernel of truth in the video.
That's a myth. Politicians didn't inflate to buy votes. They inflated in wartime because wars are expensive, and then they lost the next election. The idea that democracy causes inflation and central bankers are wise philosopher kings is a story told by central bankers. The video is just the mirror image. He doesn't trust central bankers because they're elites, but he fully trusts gold miners and Bitcoin bros. It's anti-institutional on its face, but completely trusting of existing wealth.
Okay, but the hidden tax on labor part still lands. If the government can create trillions to bail out banks overnight, but we can't cancel student debt, that tells you whose money it is. He's tapping into a real anger there. That's not stupid.
You're right. That part is not stupid. The anger is legitimate. But he asks, why do we let the Fed create money for banks? And instead of asking, why do banks have power over money creation, he asks, why do we let anyone create money at all? That's a leap from a real grievance to a fake solution.
So you're saying the video is half right, but the half it's right about is the half everybody already knows.
I'm saying it's a big brain moment only if you've never read a single history of central banking. It's the intellectual equivalent of a guy at a party explaining that the pyramids were built by lost technology. Confident, tidy, and wrong in the details that matter.
Okay, but would you at least admit the production value was good?
The graphics were very smooth. The red circle around seigniorage made me feel like I understood a secret. For about 4 seconds.
So maybe the actual thesis isn't the Fed is a cartel. Maybe it's information can be aesthetically pleasing and still be wrong.
Now that's a steel man I can support. But can we do the fake sponsor now? I need to sell something that unfries my dopamine receptors after that.
Fine, but I'm not letting you do the one about the gold-backed deodorant. That was a low point for the show. Okay. No fake sponsor yet. I just realized that information can be aesthetically pleasing and still be wrong is maybe the most depressing sentence we've ever said on this show.
It's up there with the episode where we found out your credit score knows you're dead before your family does.
That was dark funny. This is dark. This is my uncle sending me a video of a guy in a tailored suit pointing at a graph and saying the Treasury is a lizard people money laundering front. The font is gorgeous. There's a lo-fi beat under it.
The graph goes up and to the right. He doesn't know what M2 is. He doesn't need to. The color palette means business.
And I'm the asshole who sends back a Brookings PDF. I've lost before I even hit send.
A 90-page PDF with 900 footnotes? It's not even competing. You brought a policy memo to a laser light show.
And that's the spiral. The more we try to fix it with rigor, the duller we look. The duller we look, the prettier the lies win. A guy makes a slick video about the Fed being a cartel, and I spend 40 minutes explaining what a central bank does. And by then, my uncle is on video 6.
Video 6 is why the gold standard would fix your marriage. It's a cinematic universe of wrongness. Every creator has a bookshelf behind them. The books are props.
The spines are all The Daily Stoic, Atomic Habits, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. The trinity of doing your own research.
It's the aesthetic of intellectual seriousness, with no plumbing. You can walk through the set, but if you turn the faucet, nothing comes out.
But it's a beautiful house. That's the problem. The Fed cartel video isn't an argument. It's a mood board. No mechanism, no members, no alternative. It just vibes at you in slow motion.
A mood board for economic doom. And doom has way better production values than hope. Hope is a Minneapolis Fed press release. Doom is a dollar bill burning in 4K.
And the Doom gets a brand deal. The guy can't define open market operations, but he's got a coffee mug and a gold IRA promo code.
Then you're in a Telegram group with Anon Patriot 1776, and he's posting moon cycles and saying they predict quantitative easing. And you think, well, the chart is nicely formatted.
From Fed cartel to the pyramids are grain silos in 3 clicks. It's the same algorithm. It doesn't care what flavor of wrong you're consuming. It just knows you're still watching.
Terminal stage is everyone with a ring light and a niche apocalypse. The mermaid economy, the seed oil collapse, the goblin shark hoarding seagrass. It all looks incredible.
I would absolutely click on mermaid monetary policy. I hate that about myself.
That's the thing. Even knowing it's wrong, the production value gets you. That's why fact-checking doesn't work. Every view is a node in the wrongness supply chain. We're not outside the spiral. We're distribution partners.
Oh, God, I'm a node. I watched the video to correct him, and the algorithm saw my view as love.
We both are. There's no exit. Only more content.
So where does this leave us? I want to say rebuild institutions, but the institutions have no reach. The Fed could launch a puppet show about open market operations, and it would get ratioed by a guy with a laser pointer and a Patreon.
Maybe the Fed needs an OnlyFans. Subscribe to see my balance sheet.
Don't give them ideas. The next FOMC meeting is a live stream with a tip jar.
That might be the only play. If truth can't compete on aesthetics, it has to compete on spectacle. Congressional hearings with wrestler entrances. C-SPAN with smoke machines.
We are maintaining rates. The market crashes anyway, but at least we'd watch.
That's the absurdity spiral. We'd rather watch a well-produced disaster than a boring explanation of why the disaster is happening.
So maybe the only move is to laugh. Because if I sat with how broken this is, I'd have to sell the house and move to a yurt.
Laughing is cheaper than therapy. It pairs well with the decline. You crack a beer, watch a guy say fractional reserve banking is just a scam, and you laugh. Not because it's wrong, because it's right in the dumbest way.
The absurdity spiral ends with a drink and a laugh while the world burns.
And then we sell the merch. That's the final stage.
Brought to you by the absurdity spiral. You're already in it.
There it is. We've turned the collapse into a brand. Good night.